Hey folks, and welcome back. Well, I guess we're doing a new Heroes banner reaction and analysis sort of thing. I know I'm a little bit late to waking up and watching it, but at the same time, I know I'm going into this completely unspoiled, except for, well, I might have just accidentally seen a glimpse of the thumbnail, but I just had what's going on, and you know what? Let's just get into it, okay? I don't want to have to look until I actually need to, so... I'm assuming they're on the screen right now, right? Which is why I have my eyes closed. Oh, Airness? Okay. Drawn by Mayo? Ooh.
I cannot be other than I am.
Anand? What? That is definitely her, though, right? Anand? What? What? Huh?
As fate wills.
There's no way that's what her name is now. That's so weird. Ooh, Azel. Okay, okay.
I'll find my own path.
Of course he will. Is he the demote? Oh no, he's actually got it. What? Our dual infantry there's no, you're actually, are you serious? They're actually doing tier 4 duels. That's so silly, dude. There it is.
I once dropped an
LEX.
axe into a lake. A goddess appeared and gave me a brave axe in return. True story.
Ooh. Motherfuckers are actually referencing that? The fuck? Okay. Okay, that's cool. Oh, is he the demote too? Oh shit, with the perf too. That's so nice. Oh no, I think this is Airness, right?
I was called Crybaby and worse when I was younger, but I am no longer that child.
Wait, is it not like your sister or whatever the hell? Or is that her daughter? I don't know, whatever. Be dual 4, oh my god, dude. Ugh. Ah, okay. Oh shit! One of the Valkyries too? Oh god. Flying, I see. Yeah, and he is 4-star. Oh boy. Okay. Well, this is definitely interesting. So, okay. Anand. I don't know who this is. This is like her sister or whatever. I don't remember. This is probably like a differently translated name. I'm honestly not too sure. Maybe I'm just dumb. I'll figure it out. Has sturdy impact and guard bearing, along with Moonbow as the main part of the base kit. Otherwise, there's a new sword, inheritable. Unbound blade. If unit is not adjacent to an ally, inflicts attack and defense -5 on foe during combat. It neutralizes foes' bonuses to attack and defense during combat. Okay. Isn't this like There's no way this is like Spring Bartre's weapon, is it? I'm not too sure. Is this a point where I actually have to check now? Because I know that there are weapons, I'm pretty sure, that are like this in the game. I'm almost certain of it. But I guess at that rate, even if it is or isn't, I mean, it works out. I can see it definitely working out. More so in Anand's case here, just because, I mean, she's a flying unit, so she can probably just fly around, do whatever. And, I mean, given the fact that she also has sturdy impact, guard bearing, it kind of lends itself to that sort of play style, and just going out, getting a pick, trying to survive on your enemy phase or whatever, at least from the first enemy attacking you. It just kind of makes sense. It'll just keep your attack and defense perfectly intact, while also making sure that you just have that little bit more to help kill and survive, I guess, at that rate. So it works out. Otherwise, to note, I mean, she is a sword flyer, which is nice to note, but at the same time, I feel like it's also a little bit kind of... mostly just because of the fact that she's going to basically be having to contest with units like Young Sheeta, for example, in that category, but at the same time, it doesn't hurt to have a Gen 5 sword flyer, even if it's one that doesn't have a perf. I would honestly be perfectly fine. I'm in open arms about this one, just because I don't think sword flyers are that heavily deathfied as a class, as far as I'm aware. So it definitely works out to see, especially if there are 2 Pegasus flyers on this banner. It doesn't hurt. I honestly don't mind it. It's alright. I don't really think there's too much else that really needs to be said here. I mean, she's going up against... Oh, I guess she might have some decent res at that rate, so... I don't know. I'm curious what her stats would end up being. Like, I just have a really weird feeling that... I mean... She might have some decent attack. I'm not too sure. I feel like her stats are going to be all rounds. Honestly, I don't know why, but that's sort of the feeling I'm getting here. I'm not too sure. Maybe it's just the random ass feeling I have. I don't know. Right. Azel. Infantry locks. Sadly, you're not going to get promoted today, buddy. Maybe one day. Okay, so we've got, for regular stuff, he has Rally Up Speed Plus. Works out. I haven't seen that one in a while. Speed, Res, Ruse, 3, and Joint Host Speed. Okay. I want to see what this dual infantry is, or at least what's up with dual 4 here. Okay, so it's HP plus 5 like normal, but it also gives plus 2 to all stats. Okay. The unit is 5-star, level 40, a legendary hero or a mythic hero. That unit's stat total is less than 175. Treat unit stats as 175. Was in like arena. Unit is 5-star, level 40, not a legendary or mythic hero. Unit stats total less than 180. Treats unit stats as 180 in modes like arena. Higher scoring opponents will appear. Okay. So it's actually calculating two different sort of things. One if you're a legendary or mythic, and one if you're not. I think, okay. I don't think there's going to be too many units that really benefit from having our dual infantry 4, at least in terms of legendary and mythic. The ones that I can immediately think of would be like, I think legendary Marth and legendary Ike. I guess this kind of works out in a way. Well, and I don't know. It's weird because I think their reasoning for this one was that because they are always going to be a recurring unit in terms of, hey, the legendary pool is going to cycle in at least having a bonus unit. And because they're always going to be, you know, giving some sort of bonus to the scoring as it is, I can see why it's 175 in this case. I don't think it's bad. I think it's more just because I have a feeling that in a way, at the end of the day, they're kind of calculated the same-ish. I don't know why. I feel like maybe just because it's 175, it's just like, you know. I think if you're including with the legendary buffs or whatever, at least that you get from having them in there, I think it might just offset that to make it as if it is like 180. I'm not too sure. Otherwise, anybody who doesn't equivalent to 180, it works out. I guess the main issue with this sort of stuff is mostly just down to the fact that, A, you're kind of having to get rid of your A skill to make this work out. And I guess in a way, it's a way to trade it off, but at the same time, I'm not too sure. I think, at least in my personal case, it still works out for my Astrum, because I know he's like 170 something. And I don't think it's a bad thing if I were to give this to him, because otherwise he just runs like bonus doubler. Like, whatever, that's fine. It's not anything like Disencounter to where like you need to have that in your A slot or whatever. But I feel like for a couple other units, or at least a good amount of them, it might be very weird when I have this there, but at the same time, I don't know. I think, because honestly, I really thought that the dual infantries were done, or at least the dual skills were done. I really didn't think this would get tier 4. But, I mean, I guess it does sort of work out, especially with the BST power creep. That's always going to be happening. Just making more units at least somewhat viable. However, it just takes up their A, and it's just like, I don't know. I just feel really weird that they're actually going the route of making these tier 4. I feel like if anything, they probably could have gotten away with making them seals. But I don't know. It's kind of just weird because I'm somebody who specializes in more arena type stuff, so I can at least understand like where they're coming from with this. But at the same time, I feel like it's just really weird because they're this scarce to obtain in some ways to make units work, and it's just like I don't know. I'm a bit iffy on this. I don't entirely hate it, but it does feel weird to me, I will say. Otherwise, Azel's Tome, the Sparking Tome. Okay. Innate 3 speed. At start of combat, if foe's HP is above 50%, inflicts speed and res -6 on foe during combat, and inflicts penalty on foe's speed and res during combat equal to the current bonuses on each of foe's stats. So, okay, so example is if foe has 7 bonus speed, inflicts -20 speed, net penalty of speed -3. So, basically what this is that you're basically getting debuffed, but it's kind of like a reverse Plagia weapon, somewhat. It's just punishing you if you have bonuses at that rate. Which, I mean, at the same time, that actually doesn't hurt him. Because I was thinking, wait, doesn't Ruse counteract it? But it actually doesn't. Because even if they do have the debuff for the -5 speed and res, it's not going to get rid of the buffs that are actually there. So I can kind of see that. So it's not awful, I guess, because they can technically stack up, because the innate speed and res is a combat calculation, at least something that applies in combat. And I will say it's a very generous HP condition that you need to be at for your foe, having them to be above half health. I feel like we've gotten a lot of skills recently that are kind of just getting away from like, well, they do depend on foe's HP, but it's usually been like 100 or whatever. Now it's been like 75. Now we're getting to 50. Really? Like, I don't know. It's not bad. I don't hate it. It's just I don't know. I don't mind this. I really don't. But it's definitely a way to have Azel punish people who like to have their visible buffs. Not because like he's going to have them debuffed or whatever, or have them panicked or whatever. Mostly just for the fact that, hey, you have bonuses. Doesn't matter. I'm dealing more damage to you. Just because of that fact. Or just, well, not because he's dealing more damage. I mean, yeah, that's the end goal, or at least that's what's going to happen overall. But I'm going to give you more punishments because of, at least I'm going to give you some penalties just because you're buffed up. Just like, hey, you have them? Let's basically reverse them. I don't mind this. I think it'll be a fun unit, I think, overall, just because of that weapon. Mostly just because, I mean, that's just one way of making him offensive. But I think it's very interesting how he's going to be punishing people who are buffed up. Like, it's basically as if he's just completely ignoring them and just dealing more damage based on that. It's at least what bonuses they have. I don't mind that, honestly. It seems like it can be very interesting. I'm curious to see what will happen. I think it's mostly just interesting, though, because, I mean, he's red, so it might not have too much impact, but at the same time, you never know. Then again, he's also too locked. I think, if anything, my bet is that he might just be, like, useful on either his offense. I'm not too sure. Maybe there might be some usage for him on defense, but just because of his limited movement, I'm not too sure. At least that's what I'm thinking a little lately. I don't think it really matters. Either way, he's a very interesting unit. I mean, I don't know what the hell Airness is going to have, but I definitely like what Azel is bringing to the table. So if you want... Well, I mean, because of recent times, we've been getting a lot of offensive mages for like stuff like green class or whatever, maybe some blue. Otherwise, we've only had demotes in red. So having Azel like this, it's definitely a hint of fresh air. That's true. And I'm perfectly fine with that. Now I have Lex. Oh boy, this one I'm definitely excited for just because of its class. He's an Axe Cavalier, and he has a perf of all things. Ooh, it's a perf Brave Axe too. So it grants 5 defense, but it inflicts minus 5 to his speed and res, which is understandable. And this is actually dual phase as well. Ooh, I like that. I actually like that a lot. And I mean, it's 11 might too, so that's fine. Otherwise, he has Axe Experience. It's actually being called Experience too. I think it's just because Axe is 3 letters. It's whatever. Attack defense plus 3. I guess that's a thing. Sure, you can use that if you want to get push 4 from like lift or whatever. Reposition, that's just going to be easily useful. I think it's more just like, well, what is he going up against? Okay, he's going up against like a 5-star. That's fine. I'm a little bit confused. Like, I don't know what his whole damage output's going to be like. I hope that that's a little bit deceptive or whatever. I'm not too sure. I think he's going to be very tanky, though. At least he's going to have high defense. He has, wait, how much did he have? He has 45 HP. So I can kind of see him having... Well, I mean, it is on the higher side, so higher-ish HP and defense. Possibly like a middling to lower-ish speed. Definitely no res, for sure. I'm just curious as to what his attack stat is going to look like, because I feel like it might make or break it. I'm not too sure. Maybe I'm just thinking a little bit weird, but at the same time, I mean, he has a dual phase Brave Axe, basically. Just, you know, better. So I'm curious to see what his attack stat will look at. I think it's just overall, I'm curious to see what his stats will look like, because I'll be honest, I might have too many greens already that I've been working on as is. But I think Lex is one I definitely want to work on, so... I think I'm going to have some fun with this one. That's... Lastly, Aranus, Star of the Spanner, and I don't mind that. Her art looks absolutely... My god. Pegasus Flyer, so obviously she's going to be a Lance Flyer, but she's got some stuff. Harshman Plus is her assist. Chill attack speed 2 works out. I think that was unlocked or whatever. I don't know. Attack defense Ryan 3. Okay, sure. B-dual flying 4 is just the red dual infantry 4 just for B-dual flying. So if you've got stuff like a peony, a legendary Azura, obviously. Whatever other stuff. I mean, technically this would be useful for my Claire. But I guess. Oh well. But it's just more of these dual flying or these dual 4s. I've already said what I need to say with this though, so it's kind of just like, you know. Otherwise, her weapon, Celeste Frost. It's basically a 19 might weapon. At start of combat, if foes above 50 HP, or for above 50% HP, grants attack and speed plus 6 to unit during combat, and also if unit is within 2 spaces of support partner and initiates combat, unit attacks twice. Wow, okay. So she has a drive conditional brave weapon based on support partner and foes HP. I think this is going to be very nice, especially in player hands for sure. I don't think it'll be used for something like Aether Ray's offense as much, unless you're able to get her support partner really far in. Well, I'm not too sure. It does help her a lot, though, that she has like a brave conditional. I guess it's just weird to put these into practice, since I think the only thing that's really kind of like this, in a way, is the Pegasus Sisters Personester stuff. So basically, Pala, S, Patria, and technically Dual Pala as well, having their, not necessarily based on support partner, but having allies nearby them to basically give them brave effects. I find that I haven't seen too much of that in the just usage, probably just because a lot of it is very well, at that rate it's AI dependent, but at this rate, like with Aranus, this one isn't, because I mean, it's support partner, you don't have that on your enemies as well. They don't have their ally supports at all. So I'm curious to see how this one will work out, since it's only in player hands. I don't know. I'm not too sure what to really think of it overall, at least in terms of where it can really fit into like competitive modes right now. But otherwise, I think this is a very strong weapon, honestly, just because she's dishing out so much damage with that. I mean, she's basically getting, it's a 19 might weapon for one thing. It gives you basically to a Sparrow 3 if foe's HP is above 20 or above 50%. Not necessarily the same numbers, but you get what I mean, with the 6th attack and speed along with that. And then she also can get a brave effect if she is basically in drive range of support partner. So basically at that rate, it doesn't really, you're not going to kill anything like a tank like Axe Armor or whatever, but if she goes up against like most of the cast at that rate, if she's buffed up properly and has all of her conditions and a weapon met, you're just dead. It doesn't really matter at that rate. It's kind of just like, well, there you go. And it's kind of weird if I were to put in like all the nitty gritty with all the other stuff like with her Rhine or her Chill. I think you guys get what I mean though with it. She's just going to be very, very offensively inclined and has a unique way of being able to leave some of her effects. I think that'll be nice. It's definitely going to be useful in player hands, so we'll see how ultimately how that pops up. Not too sure. Otherwise, is there anything I'm kind of like thinking here? Dagger though. This is one of the Valkyries, and she is flying, I believe, right? Yeah, so she is an axe flyer. Okay. At least that's what it looks like for at least what I'm seeing right here. And she'll probably have Canto as well, which honestly isn't awful. Curious, because now I can actually check as to what's going on. I want to see who the free unit is. I might as well at least cover that part. Who are we looking at here? It is Zitorba. Oh, is Zitorba one of those enemy Pegasus? I'm trying to remember. Because it's definitely a Sleaze chapter for whatever reason. Because I mean, you have two of them obviously. Then I think that's just the enemy one. At least the one that I think would, kill Anand, ironically, or at least kills Aranis' sister. And then you have to fight them in chapter 4. So I don't know. I think that's who this is. So I think, but I thought they had a generic portrait or whatever. I'm not too sure. I don't know. Either way, I'm very curious to see what's going to happen here ultimately. Mostly just because, I mean, they're all going to be in the, like, normal pool. Finally, I'm covering an actual new heroes banner. We have a new GHB coming up. They're probably a sword or lance flyers, whatever. Otherwise, LEX, definitely going to be an interesting 3 to 4 star unit for sure. I'm definitely going to build them up whenever I get the chance to. Otherwise, there's some definitely solid stuff to get here. So, I mean, if this is really what you're into, definitely go for it. Otherwise, I mean, if you really care for those dual skills, I mean, I guess you have to kind of go for those. I'm not too sure. I really don't know how to feel about those ultimately, but yeah, I don't know. Otherwise, there's a lot of stuff that people have been having to pull for recently, and it really depends on what you want to go for. So if you're pulling, good luck. If you like the video, feel free to give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you want. If you're gonna go on this banner, comment who you want to get and just overall thoughts. And yeah, I'm not too sure about this one, but if you're still here thinking about it, I think around the time that this video does go out, I might go live on my Twitch, twitch.tv/Valentia. So if you want to stop by, feel free to do so. And yeah, that's gonna be it for me. My name's been Valentia, and yeah, watching everybody. I appreciate you.